All right, so we looked at these pies, the pie hats. I'm sorry, and there were some pretty good deals on here. Let me see if I can get this volume down on this. Um, okay, so there's some really good deals on cases and things like that for pies, and uh, would really like to have a hotspot that looked like this. That would be pretty cool. $320. Oh my goodness! But look at that. That's crazy. So, um, have you seen what that company Bridgecom charges for stuff? It's pretty nuts. Like I think they're $500 for theirs. They obviously have figured out how to make money because it's complicated, and they've taken the headache out of all that. Here's a nice case right here. It's looks like the C4 Labs, but it's some other type. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. It's like adult Legos. Okay, so Duplex MMDVM screen case, screen not included. That's an awful lot of money with no screen. So $32. I mean, there's a bunch, but there was one as cheap as $22 with the screen. There's a $25 one. Um, Now, what I would like to do, I really don't like using the Raspberry Pis because they're really, really sluggish on the Pi Zeros, and I'm not sure that you could just put this hat on an Orange Pi and get it to work correctly, but um, or easily. I know you can get it to work, but you probably have to use the WSP one or whatever the hell it is. With a dual hat. There's all these boards that like you could get for pretty cheap. But anyway, what we wanted to look at, we've already basically narrowed it down to what was like really doable. So if you wanted a case, then I don't know if this is a good deal or not, but um, where is our cheap one? So here's a $29 one. It will come with an antenna, but here's a $25 one with an antenna. It says there's only two left. And here's a $22 one. So what I would do is I would buy this one. Everything looks pretty standard to me on it. What does it say there? High performance 32-bit for ARM processor. Up to 10 milliwatts RF power. So anyway, this is about as good as you're going to do unless you like order these off of AliExpress. It's sold by Tanus, Tanus. I'll get a link up there later, but it'll be a minute. Here is a dual one for $44, and I don't know if these can run on a single Pi, like the Pi 2W, Pi Zero. I mean. So that's weird. They give you all this stuff and they give you an SD card for $39. And the same thing with this one. They give you that, but you don't get a Pi. $46. You're gonna need an SD card for sure. You don't need a case, but it would be recommended. Now, these blue ones, I don't know. They look different. Support for blue DV. Let's see. These have got a USB-C on them. What does a USB-C do? These are a completely different type of board. And you see like that little antenna port there? I hate those things. They're horrible. HIT LAN MMDVM module with pin header supports for blue MD. Yeah, we're there. I have no clue how this one works or why it has a USB port on it. So, I cannot recommend that at all. Plus, it's $53. So, let's go up here to Raspberry Pi. Pi 4, $64. Pi 5, a lot of money. Why is this that much money? Let me make sure that we're looking at Prime only. Otherwise, we end up looking at a lot of crap. Okay, so Pi 02W, $23. You're gonna get, like, I would order it from whoever's gonna be the fastest. I wouldn't worry about the $1. From Memory Wiz. Oh, and you will need these header pins. So they charge a couple of dollars for header pins. Buy one with header pins. You're probably going to need to buy the more expensive one. You don't want to solder those header pins either, let me tell you. It is stupid pain in the butt if you're not, good with solder. I had a hard time with it because I ran out of flux. But anyway, I bought a case for one of these that came with pins, and I soldered the pins on there to test out the 2W with the Pi hat, and it worked great. Because my other Pi has the old Pi 0. So there's a Pi 0 and a Pi 0 2W, and one is a single core processor and one's a quad core, and so that's the difference on those. I personally like the Pi 3 because it has full-size HDMI. This might be a good option here. I mean, for $34, you're going to get a case and all this other stuff, and an adapter to run other things, the header pins, and I don't know what that is, and a power supply. So that's another thing people don't think about. You need the power supply. And these things, they want, on the Pi 3s, they want like quite a bit of power. They're hungry. So for $34, although that really isn't going to help you with a case that's usable for the hotspot. So what else do we have? We got another case here for $42. The Model 2 for $55. What a ripoff! Yeah, don't buy one of those, man. Here's the 02W kit for $29. What does it come with? Yeah, the heat sinks would be nice to have. You really do want something on them. They do get pretty warm. Although, I mean, I don't know if it's an issue or not, but I feel better having it on there. Looks like they sell a couple different kits. I'm not sure why that one's $26. Then you have that one for $23. But, I mean, it's up to you what you want to run. I mean, you can run a Pi 3, you can run a Pi 0, Pi 0 2W, whatever you want. Or if you already got one, then you're good to go. Just use what you got. $28. I don't believe a Pico will run that thing. Now, Pico is something that we were looking at using to do the DDS VFO for some of the CB modifications. Here is a Pi display, 3.5-inch touchscreen with Pi 5 case for $18. Fan and heat sinks. That's a really nice deal. Here's a 02W with everything you're going to need and a little plastic case. So you can at least protect the back of it, I think. Just don't put the clear on the top, or whatever you're going to do. And then put your hat on top of that. $29. I think that's probably a good deal, but what we would like to see is the same thing with the power supply. Let's see, we're on page 4 now. Maybe we can narrow this down. I'm trying to keep this video kind of short. So getting something that has everything would be nice. Alright, we got, there's a W+. Let me see what the hell that is. $26 right here. $23, no header pins. 29. 28, 29, 34, 28, 29, 25. That might be the best deal right there. You're getting the pins, you're getting the adapter, you just need a power supply and an SD card. So, I would say I'd probably pick that one. It's from UEEKKOO. Whatever that pronounces as. So there you go, guys. So for, I don't know, $25 and $22, you'd be like $47. You'd trade about just a little over $50 to have a hotspot with no case and no power supply. But or you can just buy one that's already made for $100. It's up to you. Let me see if there's like a MMDVM. Like if we can like get like the Pi with the kit. I don't know. So if you ordered a little bit more money on the hat, you could get the rest of the stuff. I have the metal one like that. So about $23 to $26. Another thing too, I'm wondering, the Orange Pi. So the Orange Pi Zero has got much better specs than the Raspberry Pis, but I don't believe that they will actually run the same. And they're also $33. They've went up in price, so lack of compatibility on certain things makes that, I think, a no deal. They were really cheap for a while. They have more RAM. That's the biggest problem with the other ones, is like it's almost impossible to open a web browser on a Pi Zero 2W. I wouldn't even try it on a Pi Zero. You got 1 gigabyte of RAM, whereas the I think the Pi Zero 2W has 456 or something. 456 megabytes of RAM, which is not enough to open a web page. It just doesn't like it. The Pi Zero, Orange Pi Zeros, they're not all the same. So if you're gonna buy one, make sure you do your research. So that's it for the Pis, guys.